Why are taxes important? If you look around and see closely at your day-to-day experiences, you will quickly realize that many of the things you enjoy in your life are made possible by the resources raised through taxes. From healthcare, educational services, public transportation, to infrastructure schemes, they require financing, and someone needs to pay for them. And taxes are indispensable sources of funding. The 4 R's of tax are at the heart of a robust and effective tax system. And these are revenue, redistribution, repricing, and representation. And I like to zoom in on the 4th R, representation. The COVID-19 pandemic has shed light on our broken social contracts across societies in the world. The experience highlighted a mismatch between people's expectations and the reality. Some societies came out of this crisis with a stronger social contract, while others did not. In brief, the social contract is the basic set of rules, norms, and mutual obligations that bind together individuals, firms, civil society, and the state. Simply put, the social contract defines what we owe each other. Paying tax empowers people by giving them the ability to hold their governments accountable for the quality of services they receive. Without paying taxes, it's very difficult for the voices of the people to be represented and heard in influencing how the country is governed and how the services are provided, because there is no reciprocal or mutually reinforcing relationship. In some countries, their constitutions require paying tax as a citizen's duty while claiming their rights. And when people do not feel proud of contributing to service improvements and nation building and satisfied with the service provided, it enhances representation and motivates the service providers to do a better job. I remember when I was growing up, my late father being very, very proud of being one of the top taxpayers in my hometown. The top taxpayers used to be announced in the local newspapers every year in recognition of their strong commitment to boosting social contracts. This also means that people need to feel that their taxes are used wisely and make a difference, and that they are taxed fairly in accordance with their means. However, low-income people and households are almost always the most heavily taxed as a share of their gross income, but are also disempowered in the process. The great majority of tax paid by low-income households is in the form of indirect taxes, which are paid when we purchase goods and services in the form of value-added taxes, VAT, sales tax, and others. We all know that lower-income households spend a greater share of their income on consumption. When we have heavy indirect taxes factored into goods and services, these consumption taxes fall more, indeed regressively, on the low-income households. These indirect taxes, therefore, do not contribute to the sense of social contract or citizenship as effectively as the direct taxes, which are applied to personal income or wealth. The households with lower incomes are often headed by women and include people living with disabilities, the elderly, the sick, and other marginalized groups. They are often outside of formal government systems and excluded from public services and physical transfers. Therefore, they are most likely to go uncounted. They will miss out systematically on the benefits of public spending, while at the same time contributing disproportionately through indirect taxes. Where tax systems fail to deliver on the 4th R, representation, they can widen existing inequalities while undermining the social contract particularly that of the already marginalized. So how can taxes strengthen social contracts? Information about tax systems, including changes in the policies, must be communicated to the public in a timely and open manner. This requires the tax authorities around the world to be accessible and approachable so that there will be no misinformation or mistrust. Sharing of information as to how the taxes are used with accountability and transparency will strengthen social contracts. These measures will make people feel the ownership of the system and perhaps become more willing to pay taxes. It is time to strive for progressive tax policies that align with domestic and international transparency measures and are founded upon the principle of representation so that taxes will contribute effectively to the attainment of sustainable and inclusive development for everyone.